The Coup Demons in 248 M41. The vainglorious Archon Isclith of the Cabal of the Talon Cyrix, the last descendant of a pure-blooded lineage that had lasted for thousands of standard years, briddles against the tyrannical dictates of Asdrubal Vecht and his forbiddens of old empire knowledge. Deciphering the archaic rites inscribed upon the crypts below his palace, he learns how to contact demons of the warp and bind them to his will. Though his plan takes almost a century to come to fruition, Ysclith stages his coup against Vecht with shocking and unstoppable force. Under the soaring skycraft of his cabal comes a ravening demonic host that drives all life before it. Before the horde can wreak too much damage, Vecht activates an ancient failsafe and completely seals off the spur of Talon Cyrix from the rest of Comorar. It is not long before Archon Ysclith finds out that his control over his demonic allies is not as complete as he imagines. Trapped with only the demon legions for company, Ysclith and his cabal are slowly torn apart. The Reveling of Garmos in 312 M41. The Garmos sisters plunge into a war between the Imperium and the Orcs of Warg, Death Smasher. Throughout the conflict, the Coven of the Dark Creed and the Cabal of the Bladed Lotus lead raiding parties to prey on both sides. They subtly tip the balance of power back and forth, extending the war far past its natural duration, and reaping the harvest of fear and misery that results. The Dancing Dead in 327 M41. The insane Archon Thindrak of the Last Hatred launches a raid on the Imperial hive world of Tamantra's Folly. During fierce fighting between her Kabbalite forces and the Talan 8th Infantry, Archon Thindrak abducts the planet's tyrannical governor and his entire sadistic household. Within the cycle, the luckless abductees have been fitted with neural restraints, dressed in improbable and torturous finery, and installed in life support tubes built into the ceiling of Archon Thindrak's grand ballroom. Trapped in an agonizing half-life, the Imperial nobles can be lowered down to the Archon's dance floor at will on wheezing brass armatures, their mere presence leaving the hall awash with an aura of pain and misery that the Comorites find most refreshing. Needless to say, Thindrak's new toys are something of a coup, her guests delighting and dancing and frolicking with the whimpering humans amid the mocking laughter of their peers. The Raven's Prey in 394 M41. The Cabal of the Obsidian Rose suffer an unacceptable defeat when they are overwhelmed by the armored might of the Cadian 346th Regiment, the Ironheads, on the mining planet of Greystar. Determined to save face, Archon Chromis orders divisionary tactics against key points all across the planet. While battle rages, a single squadron of Void Raven bombers, crafted by Chromis herself for just such an occasion, swoops undetected into the primary spoiled shaft of the northern polar mines. Hurtling through narrowing tunnels and jinking between slab-sided industrial machinery, the Void Raven's superior systems see them reach the deepest extent of the mine workings. Here, dangerously close to Grey Star's molten heart, they deploy a trio of masterwork void mines that trigger an apocalyptic chain reaction. Even as the Void Ravens hurtle to safety, the Obsidian Rows retreat to the webway, laden with slaves and plunder. In their wake, Grey Star tears itself to pieces, billions dying along with their planet in order to satisfy Chromisa's need for revenge. The Plague of Becoming. In 399 M41. A narcissist without equal, Archon Vane Kayarg of the Black Myriad releases the doppelganger virus on the planet of Phlogiston 6. This transmorphic plague rewrites the biology of every living creature on the planet, forcing their features to reform in the likeness of their alien conqueror. Steelfang in 421 M41. A nameless messenger butchers the inner council of Craftworld Lugganath, smashing apart a statue of Cain and using the shards as deadly weapons. Fleeing into the webway with a holo capture of her murderous deed, the young warrior calling herself Steelfang is welcomed by the witch cults of the Dark City. She soon founds her own cult, and her teachings in the art of improvised weaponry spread throughout the arenas of Comorar. Fear the Shadows in 462 M41. The Cabal of the Black Heart strike at the hive world of Lapidus, but are hurled back in disarray by the intervention of titans from the Legio Castigatum. Mere solar days later, Princeps Gendath, the author of Castigatum's victory, is murdered on his own bridge. He is hacked to shreds within his amniotic tank by hissing horrors that slither into being amid the thrashing soup. The murky shapes disappear as suddenly as they struck, leaving only a half-frozen mulch of blood and shattered armor glass in their wake. Just beyond the door, in 346, 497 M41. It is on this exact date that word reaches Asdrubal Vecht of a disturbance at Cain's Gate. Something has begun to pound slowly, rhythmically, impossibly on the other side. Vecht stations 500 incubi to watch over the gate chamber as a delaying measure. He pays exorbitant sums to ensure their discretion, while simultaneously ensuring all those incubi hired hail from brotherhoods who have defied or hindered his machinations in the past. As further insurance, he deploys several of his more esoteric arcane weapons within the chamber itself. Ingenious failsafes that include temporal flux mines, the seventh shard, and a tri-prismic dimensional mirror keyed to hurl anything reflected in its surface into the heart of a sun. The Veiled War in 518 M41. The witch cult of the Red Grief engages the warriors of Craftworld Saim Han in battle over a broken alliance. The war is fought at breakneck speeds through the cloud archipelagos of the planet Stratos, where visibility is almost zero, and the smallest misstep threatens a deadly plunge into the void ocean far below. The warring Eldar factions are eventually forced to disengage by the onset of a vast superstorm, leaving scores unsettled and bad blood festering between them.